morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever you're eating, whoever you're eating, whatever you're doing at this time. It is that time for our weekly get together. This is the Antisocial Hour-ish show in beautiful downtown Vancouver, Washington. Not the pretty Vancouver with the Hollywood stars and David Duchovny looking for hot chicks. No, we got the other Vancouver that has a Baskin Robbins and we're looking for jimmies or sprinkles on your ice cream. And today we have two phenomenal, a married couple. Oh my God, that's our first. We're doing a lot of firsts today.
We're doing a lot of firsts.
A lot of firsts today. We're popping cherries all over the place.
This
is Miss Sara Tomko, who you might have seen once or twice on that little Alan Tudyk show. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's not that popular. We're still watching it over and over again. And her lovely husband, Tom Pederson, TJ Pederson, not Pederson. They are filmmakers. They are producers. They have a production company called In the Pocket Productions. And I would love to hear all about this. But first, before we even start, hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks, Antisocial. It's so nice to see you.
It's so nice to be seen. It's good to be had. I love that this is the place. I also love that when I see some of your pictures on Instagram, there's an erase ahead picture behind you, which makes me happy all the time. That always makes me happy.
I think in our living room. We're big David Lynch fans. I think he's up there. I don't know if you can see him.
Nice.
There we
go. Oh, that. Oh, yeah. Bruce McCullough from Kids in the Hall has a song called Erase Ahead. It's my vacation. And I play that song. I used to have that on my answering machine. Remember those back in the old days?
Yeah.
Yeah. That used to be my answer. I love my answering machine and Erase Ahead were my two answering machine songs.
Oh my God, I love that.
My darlings, I'm so excited because those who have watched this show for a while have realized that I am an indie film fanatic. But more to the fact, I am a horror indie film fanatic.
Nice.
Anything twisted, anything with a good amount of writing that makes me go, say what now? Anything that's just like out there, I'm all over it. We did the Portland Horror Film Festival. Actor Bill Oberst Jr., who you might have heard of once or twice, who's done 200 films in less than 20 years.
Wow.
I know, right? And he likes 5 of them. He was on the show.
That's amazing.
And my late but great friend Tony Todd would have done the show had he lived. I would surmise.
Yes. Oh, Tony, we're thinking of you.
I actually got the chance to meet him once. He's a really sweet guy.
He was so awesome. And was his daughters with him when you saw him?
No, actually, it was funny because he was in like pitch black. It was like completely dark outside. It was Echo Park, completely dark outside. I walk up on him and I was like, oh my God, I was like, it's Candyman. But
did you say it?
I geeked out, so I had to say hi to him, and he was really, really cool.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, nice when they're cool.
I love when people come up to him and say Candyman.
I didn't do the Candyman 3 times, but
right.
Of course I wanted to. I didn't do it.
I saw a little kid do it, and the kid was like ecstatically happy, but the dad was like, "Don't say that. Don't say that."
You know what? Maybe we should kick off our Halloween films with Candyman this year.
Ooh.
In honor of the great Tony Todd.
Oh, yeah. He didn't get in the Emmys memorial thing. So yeah, that would be a nice tribute. I bet you he would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
But other than that, enough about me. How about you guys? I studied film when I was a little child with 8mm doing this thing. In fact, I still have 9 of my 8mm cameras over there. How did you guys get into film? Were you always into acting, or were you always into performing, or did you like to do like paint pictures? I mean,
you sound a lot like TJ. He started very young.
Yeah, really young. Yeah. I had basically my mom was very artistic, which is kind of unique where we grew up, because we grew up in the northern part of Arkansas, but she was really into art, painting, Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
And my stepdad was just so happened to be a filmmaker. And so
nice.
I would help him, sit in with him, write with him, act in his stuff, and always kind of help him edit. Back then it was, you got the 2 VCR tapes and you have the old school, you get the little reel. It was a lot of work to edit back then.
You got to make sure that the Sony matched up with if you had a Panasonic, you couldn't use the same machines next to each other. Yeah.
It was actually kind of a mess, but we loved it, and we'd stay up. I mean, we'd stay up till like 5 o'clock in the morning working on stuff. If ever I had a writing project or a report, we'd make a film. And so that went into. I got a little older, and I really enjoyed acting in his stuff, and I thought, I think I want to try some acting. So I got into theater in college, and
in Arkansas.
Yeah, no. Went to Missouri State.
Oh, you upgraded.
Missouri State University, and then went to Chicago for a little bit and did some theater there, and directed theater, acted in theater, loved it, still love it, and then we got out to Los Angeles. Of course, I always wanted to be in LA. Who doesn't? And then when I got out here, I was like, I think I want to get back into the film side of things. So, and I get a little bit of stage fright. I get a little nervous. It's just always been there. So I feel comfortable, really a lot more comfortable behind the camera than I do in front of it. So
although we did just do a film together last year where he acted again for the first time in like, I don't know, 10 years or something.
Yeah.
And
a lot of fun.
I mean, it's like riding a bike for him. I think he's still got it. And
you got a natural next to you.
Yeah. And we were doing this really cool. Speaking of indie films, we were doing fantasy. Like, there's our friend tackled writing a fantasy film with a low budget, which is kind of amazing because fantasy films, you have to really develop the world so deeply and detailed, and you don't really have a ton of money to do that. So we were like fascinated. The script was really fun, and TJ gets to play this mustache twirling villain, and I get to play the Oracle with the cool long nails, and I see things, I see into the future. So it was really fun. I think it'll be really good. Especially, I feel like it'll sell well, like with youth, young adults. Yeah.
Right. Is that
the Stranger Things, right? The Stranger Things crowd.
I think like sort of like Percy Jackson world, you know what I mean? Where there's just like some really cool characters, and so that's the vibe. But you've been you started directing since early days in LA, but then you kind of like pivoted a little bit, right?
Off and on as a kid, because my first gift I really remember getting from them was like a camcorder, and my friends and I would try to make movies. And then out here, really, once kind of, I'm a little older, but once kind of the digital era kicked in, where it was affordable to be able to make films again. That's kind of when we started making our own kind of indie projects. And so I've probably been doing it now for, man.
Isn't it amazing?
Quite a long time, yeah.
Stuff you were like, you're probably way too young to remember this, but I used to work at an Amiga 500 to edit film and stuff. And now I'm looking at it, like the special effects would take me 6.5 days to render like 4 frames. Now it's like you got a Unity engine and an Unreal engine, and it's like, oh, we got the city already done. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I remember my stepdad he did a feature film back in like 2001, I think. And a majority of that budget went into just getting a terabyte. Just a terabyte so that they could store their film on.
Right.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
Yes. Well, I guess got into acting when I was young, in the sense that I had older brothers, and we all got along pretty well, but they would do things I couldn't necessarily do. Like, they would be on a baseball team and I wasn't playing on the team, so I would start doing what I didn't know then, but I know now, was imaginary circumstance. I was the coach and the band and the popcorn man and the cheerleaders, and I was playing around the baseball field while they were playing baseball.
Wow.
Just imagining being all of the extras at the movie or whatever.
You were running the circus and they were your monkeys.
Yeah.
Cool.
It wasn't until middle school where I got into show choir, because I could sing.
Your voice is amazing.
Jazz hands, thank you. And then that sort of show choir leads to musicals, leads to plays, leads to, I actually really enjoy this. I think I'm like not bad at it. Like maybe I should pursue this. But I remember thinking in the right before college years, like, well, I'm sure that you have to, I didn't know how it worked in Hollywood or whatever, but I just was like, I'm sure that you have to audition and get into that world in some other way. I didn't think you could major in it. Like, I don't know
Right.
why, but I didn't. So I remember like looking through the book to like figure out what I wanted to major in, and theater and dance was like, the title for the BA major at James Madison in Virginia. And I was
Nice.
like, well,
Good school.
yeah, thanks. I think so too. And so I was like, well, I remember thinking, I mean, I loved performing and I wanted to be on Broadway. That was the dream. But I just remember thinking, I'll major in this until I figure out the practical thing I'm supposed to do, and then I'll go to New York and I'll audition. But I didn't think that they, I don't know, coexisted
Crazy.
somehow.
Yeah, how
And
dare fun things be able to be, employment? How dare they?
yeah, a little bit. Like I just thought it was that whole other world that was like I'd have to access it some other day down the line.
Did
And
you
then
ever find yourself like dancing and like this is what happened to me? So of course I'm sharing my experience because it's all about me.
yes,
um,
no,
when you
please.
when you're dancing or when you're singing, you just become in this whole other world.
Yes.
And then when people see you in that other world and they appreciate that, you're like, whoa, wow, this is me.
Yes. That actually is what happened my senior year of majoring in theater and dance. And I had this one role I played called Medea Redux in this play called Bash.
Nice.
And I got so lost in that role that I forgot, like each night I sort of blacked out. Like I didn't remember what I did because I was so enveloped in the world. And that was the moment that I was like, oh, I don't ever want to do anything else. Like there is no practical job option. Like that this is what I do. This is what that I fell in love, majoring in it just gave me the chance to take so many cool classes, experimental theater, dance, voice. And so that led to me just getting like a job at a theater right out of college. And I thought I was going to go to New York, but then a friend was in LA and I went to visit her and I fell in love with the city on day one. Yes, that's what got me to LA ultimately. And then LA, inevitably, you sort of head towards film and television more than theater, like you would in New York.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And that,
LA isn't really, I mean, the theater in LA is good.
yeah,
And some of the community theater is probably the best I've seen on the entire planet.
wow,
But
that's awesome.
in LA, I mean, there's even a little tiny theater outside of UCLA, and I can't even remember the name of it. It's just outside of it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, but just seeing small shows there where people are just, I'm gonna write something and see if it hits the spaghetti walls and drops, or if
Yeah.
it's, yeah. And that's the one thing I did find in LA was strange because I just did stand up in Second City there. But when you're doing television there, it's a whole different world. Did you have to go do things like both of you might have had to deal with this pilots weeks and things of that nature, or were you more in the film side of things? Like I got into special effects, so that's where I ended up landing.
I think we, I started in film with indie film, and then once I got into TV, I had to get into like highlight reels and clips and things like that I had to focus on in order to, I taught myself how to edit my own reel and my own photos because I didn't have the money. I was broke, and I had to figure out from scratch. No one had in my family had pursued this dream for both of us. We both sort of were like path pavers.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: she did it the hard way. It's something to look up to. Like Sara didn't have family that was already in it. She didn't
Yeah.
go to some kind of prestigious school where you come out and you already have industry jobs. She's the like the Hollywood dream.
I'm
She's
the
like
scrappy
she
artist.
came out here, she grinded.
Busted your butt.
She did. She did. She kind of lived
Scrappy.
this. She lived the secret. I mean, I remember, she was waiting tables and trying to get that job, get that series regular job she always talked about,
Hmm.
and it was so funny because I'd be like, okay, we got to go do this thing, and she'd be like, I don't know if I can, my career, and I'm like, babe, you're waiting tables, like I think we can make it, and I mean, no time at all. She's on a show. She's on another show, and then she's on.
I know
Resident
you go through the
Alien.
list of stuff on your IMDb page, and you're like, oh, once upon a time. I mean, that's a big deal,
Yeah, that was one of my first bookings that was a recurring role, which was a big deal because it went from, you always try to kind of advance one to the next. And I started with a guest star on HBO, which was already a big deal. And then I got a recurring on Once Upon a Time, and then a few other recurs on just a couple other shows, and then the series regular hit. So I have a very unique story from straw to gold sort of thing.
I like to say she did it the right way.
Yeah, and you did work hard to get where you are. It's not like somebody handed it to you.
That's true. Thanks, you guys. I'll take it. But when TJ and I met, it was right when I was pivoting into TV, actually. So I had been doing a ton of indie film, and I had just started doing some theater again. And TJ was working on this really cool project where they were trying to do sort of like a what do you call it? Not a gag reel or a teaser trailer, but they were trying to sell a pilot.
Like a proof of concept type of thing.
Yeah, and they were building a world in order to sell and pitch it. Mm. And they asked TJ to write and direct. Like it started with just like one part of the story, and it turned into like they saw his directing and they were like, "Can you do all of the story?" Right? That's how good he is. So it went from like, okay, well now we want to make you a character, and we want your character to write. Like we write something for your character in the story. There
was like 8 probably vignettes that they had in the proof of concept, and so I probably got to write, I don't know, like 3 of those or something.
Oh, that's so cool.
I bet you can find it. Honestly, if you look up, it's called Soiled Doves. Okay. And I feel like if you just look up Soiled Doves with TJ Pederson and Sara Tomko, I'm pretty sure our scene where we really first met is online somewhere, and it's really beautiful.
Oh, how cool is that?
And it was the first time we'd ever worked together, and we were playing husband and wife, and we just had goosebumps. You got the goosies? We were playing husband and wife, and we just had really great on-screen chemistry, and we were really just really good friends. We just really loved working together. Like we started just being in an acting community and an artistic community of friends at that time.
I helped her on some auditions after. I remember actually.
He's such a good coach. If anybody needs an acting coach, reach out to In the Pocket. TJ's got your back.
I was actually I had the privilege of helping Sara on the her first
booking, the HBO,
which was the HBO booking, and I remember we're kind of working on. She played.
I was like rolling on the floor in your apartment.
Yeah, she plays the cave woman in the pilot episode. Or I guess it's not a pilot.
It's the first episode, season 2 opener
of season 2 of The Leftovers on HBO. And she was rolling around like a feral, beast,
like a cave woman
apartment. And I'm like, she blew me away. And I was like, you know what? I was like, if you do that, if you do what you just did for them, it's yours. And sure enough.
Sure enough, I booked it. Yeah. And I called him almost immediately after the audition, because it was one of those auditions where even if I feel like we've all had those moments where you just know you landed the plane. And so you're just like, even if I don't get it, I did my job. I landed, I stuck the landing, and I remember calling you and being like, it felt so amazing, because that role was a really wonderful way of combining my theater roots with film, because it was written sort of like an indie film, but as if you were following this one character through a series of her life.
Like a Bauhaus movie almost, huh?
Yeah, and so I think because of both of our theater roots, you were able to help me kind of ground down into the grittiness of who she was.
We worked on some Greek theater on that little.
That's amazing.
We did some. Go ahead and show them. We did a little bit of that Grecian torque.
We did a little.
You find a light. You get interesting picture.
When you're like here, but your whole body.
Most of she was so excited, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
I was like eating, like this.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was so I, not to get too off track from where we got to, but ultimately, our friendship and our working life led to us just spending a lot of time together. And of course, we just, I remember talking to my mom and being like, I think I have feelings for him, but I don't want to mess up our friendship.
Oh, I don't want to. I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck it up.
Because friendships are going to last forever, ever, ever.
Yeah, and it's so hard to find people in this business that you really trust and that you feel like you can make beautiful art with. And so I just knew like I just really want to continue making art and being in his world, but I don't have, I just was like, I don't know what to do. But then my Grammy passed away, and she was one of my favorite people on the planet. She was also the first person who ever took me to my first Broadway show. So she was a huge spirit guide for me always in my
She fed you in yum yum, yeah.
a career as a thespian. And I sort of just knew after she passed, like, life is short. I love this man. I'm gonna tell him. And if he's like, all right, sicko, get out of here, then I'll make art with someone else. But he felt the same.
Well, I mean, geez, woman, you're smart, you're gorgeous, you're funny, you can sing. You're not one of those I don't look so bad girls either. I mean,
Thanks, guys, you're making me blush. Stop. But that led
the
to
check clear, TJ.
That led to us getting together, like mind, body, spirit. Like, and then all of a sudden we were not only enmeshing our lives and our hearts, but also our art. And we came up with Girls, Girls, Girls. You had been thinking on that. When did you start writing it? I feel like was it like overnight that it came out of you? I don't remember.
Well, you know what? A little bit like probably how a lot of people have it. You get ideas and you get them in chunks. You don't get them all at once. And so,
I was gonna say the French was interesting. For those who haven't seen the film yet, and you will see it,
yes,
or else I'll pop your written on.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll put a link into the film on attached to your show.
Yes, I will make the link below. The whole idea when it started in Visible Français, I was like, I did not know if he's going to be French this entire time, but I love it. I will watch it, see what happens.
Yeah, you had sort of an idea of two stories. One of this man, this French man, and in this French film, who was experiencing, like his sort of world falling apart. And at the same time, this man, Ron, who's really numb to his own life, was when you watch a film, we all know that feeling when you watch something and you feel really seen and heard by the character in front of you. And you become sort of, mesmerized a bit by the story, because you're like, they're me, I'm them, they get me, I get them. And Ron
knows my tribe. Yeah.
So TJ had this idea to make the French film and to make the film about Ron, and then combine the two, and that the whole film itself that we did was about Ron falling in love with, really, like, falling out of love with his past life and falling in love with his artistic life. There's sort of this underlying theme to it. But there's
came from I was actually bored one weekend, and I had some friends, and I had just got a new DSLR camera, and I was listening to Serge Gainsbourg, and I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let's just make some like insane French movies just for fun. Because I've been watching a lot of French films. I was like, let's just get weird with it.
Have a trip all weekend.
We did it all weekend. We just shot, like, friends. When you get to Los Angeles, there's always a pack of actors who'll do anything. Just to try stuff.
Sure.
Exactly. It's so much fun. It's actually the best it can ever get. Everyone's just together, just for bagels and pizza, and just to have a good time. And that's where I got the idea for Girls, Girls, Girls. Originally, it was going to be just.
And the secondary title of Tammy Withers Away, is that the second title?
Yes.
Yeah. So then the Ron story came a little later, and probably the Ron story comes from most of the Ron story comes from probably my own little adventure into the mid-30s, but also it's actually a little bit of a love song to the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, which is one of my favorite poems. So I kind of wanted to make like a visual kind of send up to Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. And
yeah, I did notice T.S. Eliot was listed at the end as one of the people you thanked. I thought that was pretty wonderful.
It's true. And that poem is a beautiful, devastating look at middle age, like going from losing your youth to turning into something you've never experienced before in your body and your heart and your head. And that is very much what the film is about. So,
yeah, I mean, I had definitely had some people, some family members and stuff. They're like, "What the hell is this?"
They were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going
It's
on?
always fun.
I love it when family's going, I think it's good.
I mean, my parents were like, they were mad. They were like, I mean, they love me, they love T, and they understand that they don't have to understand all of the work that we do.
Yeah.
And they're big moviegoers. They let but it was this film is very experimental. It's very out of the box thinking. It is it's whimsical. It's
The
like
t-shirt
it's
should
a
be
very
Don't Touch the
dark
Girls.
comedy.
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
Don't Touch the Girls has to be the t-shirt.
Yes, right? Thank you. You understand.
Yeah.
But my parents had to they were mad and we said, hey, they were mad because they didn't understand the way they wanted to. And we were like, that's a good feeling though too. Like if we make you feel anything, then we did our job. Like even if
there's so many gorgeous shots. Was it Jon that did the cinematography primarily?
Yeah.
There's one shot of the character lying in the sunset with the red sky above and the water below. And I just stuck at that frame up and just left it there for a while because it was so insanely beautiful.
Cool. I got that idea. I was driving from Vegas, and I was driving back to Vegas, and you see those beautiful mountains.
Yes.
And the sun was coming over the top of them, so it was like this nice little like cherry and pink color. And I see these mountains, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like a person. It looks like a person laying on their back.
I used to live in Vegas 12 years, and that's what I used to say, the Sleeping Guy Mountains.
Sleeping Guy.
That's what gave me the idea for.
Oh, that's great.
Ron in his Nirvana there was the mountains coming back from Vegas.
Well, I think
that's cool.
It's interesting you're bringing this part up because I think that was a big reason why we made it. It wasn't just that TJ had this film that came to him and he needed to make it. It was also that we were just starting out as a production company, the three of us. Jon's this amazing cinematographer.
Jaw-droppingly good.
Yeah, he's very talented, but he wasn't doing union work. He was only doing non-union work, so he wasn't really getting a ton of exposure. TJ only had so much experience. We did the Soil Doves things and a few other stuff as a director and a writer.
Fabulous. Pink Belt was tear-jerkingly beautiful.
Yeah, so this was we kind of got together and we were like, what if we just really did this full out to the best of our ability? We spend as much money as we can, which is not that much. I think we genuinely put $20,000 on credit cards. We had nothing. It was but we had to make it. And I was really good at and acting, but also producing, putting all the parts together. So the three of us kind of came together, and our best foot forward was us just kind of combining those efforts. And then it became, I think, a reason to have a calling card for you, because our whole thought was make the film you want to make, show the images, show the art coming to life, show your point of view. And this will be the thing we show people when we say you're a director and you're a writer. This is what we'll say. Just watch this and you'll know what we mean. And you don't have to like it, or you might love it, but you'll understand more about TJ when you watch that film. You'll understand more about all of us when you watch that film.
That one scene in the gallery, actually there's a few scenes in the gallery that I really like, but one specific scene where the fellow's sitting on the chair and there's a peach over his head. And you think it's part of the painting because it looks like a Marguerite painting or something. And
that's right. It was fashioned after Marguerite.
I knew it was. I was there. I was with you.
You are with us. You understand.
I went to art school for 12 years before I went to college.
That makes me so happy. Thank you. That's that's such great music to our ears to hear that exactly what we were trying to convey came through.
But then the Kafka bit when he did the whole thing with I fell in love with the scenes when I watched the first time. I just watched it scene by scene by scene. The second time I watched the whole movie through. The third time I was like, okay, I really love the scene. We're going to freeze here for a while. Okay, I really love the scene. Let's freeze here for a while. Because it's so visually dense. And there's so much written in there you don't really see or hear the first two times. The third time you're going, yes.
Yes, great. I mean, that's always
That's
so.
exactly what John told me. He's like, TJ, this is really, really dense. I was like, yeah. Well,
We were doing
is.
so much, but we just thought if we only have an opportunity to make one film,
yeah.
if we never make a film ever again, like let's go all out. Let's get all the ideas you have on paper. Let's get everything we can do to like make it look as good as possible, to make it look as expensive as possible.
It
Even though
totally
we
did.
you know, like and that way we can say the whole point was here's who we are as a production company. Here's what we do with our own money. Now, if you want to give us money, imagine what we could do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole vibe of that selling point is like, here's what we can do with our own money and time. But if you can help us, we can make something extraordinary, you
And
know?
it absolutely is. You can tell when a director has acting chops because the director who has acting chops knows how to direct another actor. The director who doesn't know acting, I spend a lot of time doing this in movies because I get you haven't been on the other side of that script, buddy. You don't know.
It's true.
It's real. No,
You're right.
I take a lot of pride in getting good performances, and I'm also one of the best ways to get good performances is you just get good actors. But also rehearsal is huge, and having people who are down to experiment and open to trying things out, that means the world. A lot of actors are very smart and they know exactly what they're going to do and they're really good at it. But I like the actors who are coming at it from more of an organic level and they find it with you. There's this little, I think there's a director and then there's an actor and then there's this little thing in between, which is the target. And it takes both of you to get there, to find that target. And I like those actors that want to go on that trip with me.
Yeah, I love directors that want to go on that trip with me because this is why we mesh so well. Like we just really understand one another's work ethic and also the moral compass with how we see work like coming out of the brain and into the body and into the atmosphere, like it's I say moral compass because it's like a code to live by. That's what we feel so deeply about, like how the work should be done.
There's a theme of this show. People who watched it, they're all going to repeat after me. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Because people around you are what make you. The people that you keep yourself around and the people that are around you tell other people who you are.
Right.
So when I see artists that are really good at feeding each other, that's part of the reason why I was in improv at Second City for so long. When you're feeding other artists, and getting back, oh, I get where you're coming from. You're giving me this gift of I can do this. Thank you.
Right. You're feeding off each other.
Yeah.
Actually, have you ever? You said you used to do it, but like, have you thought about kind of still doing it, like improv?
I love doing it. I never really officially stopped, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because if we're ever in the area and you're doing a show, I'm just saying, like, let us know.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think sketch comedy and stand-up comics, I find it to be one of the most brave forms of like getting in front of people and just like trying things out. Yes. And I just think it's fascinating and I love watching it. So
the big secret of stand-up is, of course, none of us can afford therapy.
Right.
So we get on stage and use
I love that. That's great.
That's it. That's all we do.
Yeah.
It's like I can't talk about my mother in front of my mother. So I'm going to talk in front of 40, 80 strangers. So.
I'm going to think about that next time I see a stand-up comic, and I'm probably going to understand it even more.
Yes. So here's a question about your film company. Sort of. Sara, your voice, your singing voice. You studied music. You studied voice.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Your voice is so perfect, like dead on pitch, perfect tone, perfect timbre. Like I got a master's in jazz vocal. I totally know what that means. Yeah. You can blow, baby.
Wow, thank you.
Can you guys think of a way to use your musical talent in a way that, like, I see you guys doing the next big Wizard of Oz type of thing, whatever that may be, because of your voice and because of your talent and because of the way those things are filmed and photographed. And I mean, the first thing I thought of when I watched your film was Wizard of Oz, which sounds weird. but it was between
you know
the black
what?
and white and the color and everything else. But
Well, you know what's beautiful about that is the movie that TJ was born to, basically. Wizard of Oz was on the TV when he came into the world. So I think that that's something that we actually were just talking about going to the Vegas Sphere to do.
oh,
to
it's
see
seen it there. Oh,
to honor his hard work. In these
Well,
last...
you know, all movies go back to the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
I mean, every single one of them.
well, I really appreciate the kind words about my singing. It's actually not something a ton of people know about in my later career, because it was something I did a lot growing up in high school, college, a cappella, all these choirs. And then I got to a point, I mean, I even did, like a cabaret and like rock music out of college. But once I started to really pursue film and TV and theater and musicals, yeah, I kind of had to do a focal point pivot, and I didn't really have a ton of reasons to sing. But it's funny you mentioned us working on something together. There's this really great feature film script that he's been talking about since before we were together. Like when I first met him as a friend,
A long time.
He's been working on it with another best friend of his, Steven. Cool. Steven, who played Ron in Girls, 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 is an incredible actor, as you saw, but he's also a really wonderful writer. And is really good eye for giving like producer notes. And so he and TJ wrote this script a long time ago that one day when we have the right money and the right people involved, we're going to make it, because it's like we were just talking about with the indie film fantasy world. It is a whole world that needs to be developed.
Very
that's so cool.
But we did a like little teaser trailer, I would say, for it.
Yep.
And there's a little character that's like inside his head and his voice, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit. And we go into that voice, and it was me singing at a microphone. It was very Lynchian. It was giving so much like that moment in Blue Velvet where he's sort of like the spotlight's on him and he's like singing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the Curtain Girls from David Lynch.
Or right.
Exactly. He's like, of course, yes, it's right there.
Yeah.
In my head.
And I sang. It was a Roy Orbison song. What did we do?
Beautiful Dreamer.
Beautiful Dreamer.
And
we have that footage somewhere. And I told TJ, I was like, you know what? We should find a way to
post on the site, or
yeah, exactly. Like it's a small clip of an idea, and it would be something that we would use to pitch the movie, but it's just sort of sitting on a file drive somewhere. But it was a moment where TJ also really loved my voice and was like, I want you to be the singer. Yeah. And I was like, I've always wanted to do that role in a film where, like, that the David Lynch singer.
Cool.
Like
it's so cool, yeah. And
that's
a cult status too. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Now you're working, or I don't know if the project's done or you're still working on it. The one you're doing with Felicia Day.
We just finished. It's not
talk
officially.
About this a little bit.
Yeah, it's a short film that we decided. After Girls, 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 we made the film, essentially we made the movie we wanted to make. It's a wonderful calling card for TJ as a director and a writer, and for all of us as a production.
Really good, yeah.
But then the whole world caught fire, COVID, 2 strikes, my show, like, even though my show was great, we got really busy, and we didn't get a chance to make anything new until this year. And TJ and I talked about it. We have a feature film that we want to make hopefully next year when we find the right funding. But before we can get to that point, I said to him, like, you really need to have something that's shorter, that for the attention span of our audience these days, we need to be able to say, hey, click on this, and it's only, 10 minutes to watch it or whatever.
Well, I mean, even the film festivals right now, like Portland Horror Film Festival, Horror Fest, Horathon, Terrathon, all of them, they do these little. People are sending their proof of concept pieces instead of their entire films because they're getting funding that way. Are you guys going to work that way too, or is that kind of
that's the idea? So that's why we made. It's called Soup, Meditation on Love and Impending Death. We love long titles, as you can tell.
But we listen. If you're not getting weird with your short films, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I know, it's Tom Robbins' world.
Right. We just decided, should we try to pitch this feature film now, or should we create something? And we said, let's create something, and we'll use that to help us pitch who we are again and say, look what we can do with our own money and our own time.
Yeah.
And yet it's shorter and it's something completely different than, the feature that we made is an art house folk horror film. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
But this short that we just made is a whimsical rom-com almost. I mean, it's a dark comedy again, but it's still very whimsical, very different. And we just thought it'd be really great for now that TJ has girls, girls, girls out there to show something different. And then to be able to say, here's what we can do, here's who we are. And this was our first time trying to get some funding that wasn't our own, and to get actors that had more of a name that we really liked as talent. And so that's where Felicia Day got involved.
Felicia. I mean,
she was wonderful. She was perfect for the part.
Perfect.
Cool. And she's a new mom.
And she's a new mom. Yeah. And she had such a great time that like at the end she texted us and said, thank you for giving me something I've never done before. Like, which made me just
huge.
Yeah, it made me feel so good because I was just like, that's what we want. We aim as a collaborative community to reach into your living room and make you think in ways you've never thought before, or see things in ways you've never seen them before, because we want to think outside the box and we want to give you opportunities to do that. So you're in the middle of editing it. How are you feeling about it? It's so good, by the way. That's how I feel about it.
I just love that you two are fangirling over each of you.
Yeah.
You're fangirling over each other, which I love.
Where are you at in the process? Tell us.
I am. I feel good about it. It's really nice. We got. We had a really great team this go around. We had. I feel like we probably leveled up a little bit from Girls, Girls, Girls. I think it's on a different level of.
Which is what you hope every time you make something to like.
Yeah.
You want to have that, yeah, and
next level.
Yeah, couldn't be more happy. And Felicia Day is everything everybody wants her to be. She's so cool. She's so awesome, and one of those actors, like I was talking about, that is going to meet you halfway, is open to doing things. A lot of fun to be around on set, and she's killer in it. I mean, we thought she'd be perfect, and then you don't know, and then they show up, and then they do the thing, and then I think there's this. I always talk about this. There's this beautiful moment that happens when you're a filmmaker. And it's a little bit like you were saying, when you, as an actor, you black out and you go into werewolf mode, and then
you're like, what happened?
You wake up in someone's backyard and you're naked, and you're like, how the hell did that happen?
How did I get
What did I do?
Yeah.
I think as a filmmaker, those moments come when you have an idea, and that idea, you see it, and you see exactly what it looks like, and you know what the scene is, and then you put everything together. It's almost like you building a dream. It's like you have a dream, and then you try to reconstruct it in your front room. You put it all together, you put the actress in, she comes into focus, and then all of a sudden, it's like it's an out-of-body experience, because you're seeing something that came to you from somewhere else, and it's this, it's almost like living inside a dream. It's crazy. And when she first came in, she has a scene where she comes in, she walks up to a door, and I had seen that a certain way, and she walks to the door, and I'm like, oh my God, it's exactly the same. And I got goosebumps, and she's like, how was it? And I was like, Felicia.
Goosies.
That's how good it was.
So cool.
This is your cat.
This is Oliver.
Hi. I had a vision of Felicia in our living room, because that's where because of low budget, we had to shoot in like 2 of the days were in our house. And before we knew that she was going to say yes, like we had sent her the script, and we had like sort of crossed our fingers because we just really loved her for the part. And I just saw a vision of her with her red hair and the red dress that we put her in, like in our living room. And
nice.
And then she said yes, and I was like, oh my God, it's really coming true. But then when that happened, when she actually sat in our living room with the red dress across from Jean-Michel, and I could see the whole thing, I got the goosebumps too. I was like, it's so fat. I mean, filmmaking
is the best feeling.
It's truly magical, and it's something that we've been talking about. Like, obviously, we hope to make a name for ourselves and leave an impression on people's hearts and bodies and spirits in the filmmaking world with our art. But if we never get beyond where we're at now, we're going to continue making art. And we're going to continue doing it because we need to.
It's who you are. It's not
our
just what you do.
Calling.
It's who you are. Yeah.
And we'll find ways. I said to T, I was like, if I have to get a job just so we can like budget for for a film,
We got to hustle.
I will. Like that's what
I
we're
did.
on. We're
Yeah.
hustlers.
Yeah,
There's nothing better than the first time you hear a table read of your script.
Oh yeah.
I did a comedy about 9/11.
Wow.
And I had a table read in Detroit with 11 people, and I just have to just go, this is really going to work. This is a comedy about 9/11, and it's working. I can do this.
Wow. Are you still working on it? Are you
Well,
gonna...
I'm on actually that one's already done and published, but I've already got a second one called Feminasty about the women who take over the world.
Amazing.
Yes.
Feminasty. Hey.
We used to be feminists, but now we're feminasty.
Yes.
So
basically, he's in the final stages of editing. He has a few more shots he needs to get in Detroit with our cinematographer Jon.
I think I'm having a little bit of trouble with, it's just a short, so it's it's going to be around somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes, and Girls was long form short.
now, are you going to have a Tomko playing trumpet again?
You know what? Maybe
that was him. He was the trumpet.
You were the trumpet player.
Yeah, he was the silhouette trumpet. Yeah, that was TJ.
I thought that was so cool. A Tomko playing trumpet.
Ridiculous.
No, that was. I mean, my brother, Trey Tomko, was the composer for the.
Very talented.
For the he wrote.
The Tomkos are like the Von Trapps. All of them, every single one of them is musically inclined, completely talented. It's a little sickening, actually. They get together for like Thanksgiving, and it is a full on concert sometimes.
It used to be. We don't do it as much anymore, but yeah, we used to have like live shows in our living room. Basically,
I love that. It's like you're take off the lampshades, you suddenly have spotlights everywhere.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I think to answer your question, just to say that like once we finish this film. It's festival circuit. Here we come. We're going to really be, meaningful and thoughtful about what we're submitting to. And we're going to also hope that we can use this film to help us get a budget for our art house full quarter.
And I think next up, probably like you said, next will be focusing on like a proof of concept. I've got a really banging pitch deck. I've got a really great script. We have a couple of shopping agreements.
So good.
Fingers crossed.
It's hard to get done.
It's hard to get a film made. It's really hard. So you got to do everything you can.
And it's hard as a no name. Like even though I'm on a show.
I was gonna say you've got a show now, so you've got some name to you.
I have a little bit of clout, but you would be surprised. Like it's not that much. It's like
I work for Penn and Teller. I would not be surprised.
Like yeah, exactly. Like I think it helps you kind of get in the door a little bit, but you still have a lot to prove.
There's you still got to bring that sledgehammer in.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our plan is to, use the little bit of clout that we have to take girls and say, look at what we did here. Here's this short film. Here's the script. Here's the pitch deck. If you'd be willing to give us like $1 million, I promise you'll be so happy that you invested in us.
And you get at least 5 times that back, at least.
Right. I mean, and $1.5 million is not even a lot of money in the world of filmmaking. It's like when I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, that is small potatoes compared to But like that's our next step and our next goal is just like. We just want to be able to make a feature and make it legit and sell it to a point where you can see it in theaters and we can, and
you're a horror film buff. I mean,
you're gonna love it.
Fanatic.
It's gonna have a little magic. It's gonna have a little beauty, but it's also gonna be scary as hell.
Yeah. I love that. I love things that make me go, oh, I did not think of that one.
Yes. And I, surprise, will be playing the lead. But we are going to get, we are going to get, there's 2 lead gentleman characters, and we're very adamant about those people being not only talented and right for the part, but like big names, because we really believe that it's important.
Don't jinx it. La, 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 la. No,
no, jinxing. It's more like manifesting. It's just like, those people will be, faces that because they're right for the part and because they have the clout to really get us where we need to get to. And that is because unfortunately in this business, unless you have people that you recognize in your film, they're not going to take it as seriously as they would.
so crazy. And this
Yeah.
in the last 10 years, since the arts have been kind of destroyed by the government, it kind of gets on my very last nerve that grants and things aren't handed out as easily as they used to be. And that there's
Yes.
not a lot of startup for grants for filmmakers, especially storytellers. Storytelling in film is so necessary.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And to be able to bring that, grants especially to be able to bring, crews and locations to a place where
Yeah.
you get to be there for 2 or 3 months is like, that to me is worth it, its weight in gold.
What is your gut feeling about AI? I say this as a voice actor, so I'm just gonna sit here and cry in the corner.
I was just talking about this with a friend the other day. It's not something that can be avoided. It's not something that can be denied, but
Yep.
it's not necessarily something I'm ready to embrace nor willing to accept yet. So that's where
Right
I
there,
am.
right there with you.
How do I feel?
How do you feel?
Well, I think in some regards, in some regards, it is there to. I mean, I'm not gonna partake in AI, but I do think that for some, it's really tough these days to make a film. It's really hard to get funding to make a film, and I can see why certain people would want to maybe use it to clean up audio or to get a special effect that they don't have $500,000 to make.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, like I understand it, and I'm always going to champion independent filmmakers. And I think that
Indian filmmakers too, because that's
Indian
what
filmmakers.
Indigenous people rock, man.
You did it.
Micmac.
I mean, you did a documentary about India and
India,
and a
yeah.
lot of talented Indian filmmakers.
and it was quite beautiful.
But back
Pink
to
Belt was gorgeous. Pink
Oh,
Belt was
thank you.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I really hope that it
And I
gets,
cried, and I was, especially the women with the acid. Oh my God, it was so sad and heartbreaking and
it's a
beautiful.
very important story, and I'm so proud of him for editing it, because editors of documentaries are the true storytellers, and I'm just so
I
proud
say that
of
all
him.
the time.
Yeah, I was so
Yeah.
proud of him for doing that work, and it was a lot of really hard footage he had to go through, and
it was basically
and
me
it's
as
an
director.
important story to tell. So I hope that Pink Belt still has life out there in the world, because it's a very important story to.
Those who didn't know, the story about Pink Belt is a woman who is a very well-known champion of Taekwondo, was it? Or Jiu-Jitsu, and martial arts. And she's teaching these women how to defend themselves because the rape capital of the world right now is India. And beautiful story, beautifully told, beautifully shot, absolutely wonderfully edited. And yeah, I love documentaries, and I can't plug this one enough. So
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you. Yeah, and like you said, shout out to John McCrae for
Shout out to
directing.
Jon Lile. He and I sat together for about a year editing that movie, and it's a lot to go through, but really we're both really proud of it, and it's done really super well at film festivals.
Yeah.
It's hopefully it'll be available
flight
to
on
see
its
for
own.
everybody soon.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think it's important, and I think it needs to be shared.
Yes. But independent filmmakers was what you're.
I was just saying, I know AI is not great. I mean, there's part of me that's like, if I could see, a Sam Shepard acted out by Jimmy Stewart, I could be down for that. But also,
I don't
out.
the idea that people are being fooled.
yeah.
No, I know. I mean, listen, I'm not going to use it in my stuff, but I could see where if you wanted to make a sci-fi feature film and you didn't have, $600 billion to make it on a Hollywood budget, you have to do what you have to.
Sure.
I was
I don't know.
independent.
I think there is a rebel artistic group that's rising up, and that's independent filmmakers and live theater. Both of those things together are kind of coming back into the world where they're saying, no more streaming, no more studios, no more AI. We're not going to take it. And I think it's okay if you are into AI and that's your vibe, or if you want to make your film like that or whatever, but there will be a rebel group out there who's like, we don't do that. And there will be movies made in both directions. And you're probably going to see a world where it will be less expensive to see the AI movie as it is to see a non-AI movie, just for politics in capitalism. And I think we're going to get to a place where we're going to have to really fight for our art as filmmakers and thespians, and say, like, if you want it original, this is where to find it.
Yeah. Well, the voice actors that the strike that we were going through before for the game acting and for, there's huge fights about that. Just the idea of having, oh, your voice can be taken away now and somebody else can use it for free. No.
Yeah, that's scary stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
It's very scary. I mean, those
Yeah.
stories of even just like using your likeness in something that's like, not a very nice way to be seen or to be heard is just, it is very scary. But
Yeah, that's not.
If you're believing in fake news out there, then that's the type of person you are, and that's not our type of people. So, like, I feel like you can't stop someone from believing fake news because that's the the moral compass that they live by. So you cannot deny it or stop it from happening, but you know your own truth and you can keep making art that lives in real truth, and that's all we can do.
Right. Yeah. That's all.
Jon Baker we trust.
In Sean Baker we trust.
That's right.
That's funny. I love you guys so much. I am so excited about looking at more of your work. When I first saw Girls, 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 I didn't know what to expect, and so I didn't have any prejudgments at all. And so when I saw it, and just was floored.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just floored.
We're so grateful you took the time to watch it. Only so many people have seen it. And I told TJ just last night, I said, you know what? Girls, Girls, Girls is going to be one of those films that's like Eraserhead, where like no one really saw it at first, but then down the line, 20 years from now, it's going to be a cult classic where you started your career.
I just felt like Atomic Cafe, Eraserhead. I just reminded myself the New Art Theater in LA. Just hanging out there and saying stuff. or I can't even remember the name of it. In Harvard Square, there used to be a really cool place, Coolidge Corner. Just hang out in the little tiny theaters and watch the good films instead of just the ones that ABC and CBS tell me to watch.
Yes, right.
I will tell you, speaking of Girls, 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 you mentioned Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So there's one scene. So Iran is like, he's dreaming, and the's like a sequence where his head is kind of dissolving on top of itself. It's that's Dorothy from when Dorothy's in the tornado. It's an Easter egg, or we call that shot the Wizard of Ron. That's the Wizard of Ron shot. Yeah, just a little send up to Wizard of Oz, because it all, like I said, every film goes back to.
That's so
should
cool.
Go back to the Wizard of Oz.
Like
that one or Metropolis, yeah. Well, I have Metropolis flashbacks too. But yeah, total there. When you guys are in the Portland area, we'll drag you into the studio. You can see all our toys here.
I love that. It's almost, it's giving Golden City, but it's also giving Emerald City back there.
Yeah.
Well, when we're done with Soup, we'd love to send it to you because, as somebody who appreciates what we do, we always want to stay in touch and continue talking art. And, it's always nice to have people in our corner, and we really appreciate you reaching out and asking us to do this interview.
You don't know, I am so honored. I've had Erling Hollingsworth, I've had Jake Perez, I've had all these really wonderful directors, and I just hunt them down because I really want independent film to be out there and be.
We need enthusiasm like you. We need, word of mouth like you.
And we need dogs hunting in favor. Yes.
Yeah. Like that's the only way that we're going to stay afloat is by circulating. That's kind of what you had to do back in the day. Like I overheard the true meaning of gossip was, came from women not being educated. And so women who were educated would like slip them the books because they weren't allowed to read the books. And they would talk in huddles about like things that were educational and history and facts and things like that because women weren't allowed to be educated like men were. So it was like, that's where gossip came from. And I kind of feel like really great independent filmmaking is starting to have its own little gossip corner where we're like, do you want what we got? Come in here.
First one's free.
We'll educate you. We'll give you the goods in here. Like so we're forming our little groups. It was really wonderful to like collaborate to collaborate with this whole new group of community members that we found for Soup.
That's great. I could just see the biggest bake sale in America just to make a great movie.
Yeah. And we also are excited as a production company to not just do film, but do theater and to like, he and I want to act in something together again. I wrote a play that I want us to do as either a play at Fringe Festival or maybe a short film. But like we have a lot of things in the works that we want to be working on in the future. So it's exciting because we're just getting warmed up.
Now, are you gonna step back into the mainstream at all, or are you guys still just gonna keep doing the indie stuff for the art of it?
I mean, we're definitely doing the indie stuff for the art of it, but we are hoping to take it mainstream with the feature film, you know, with the folk horror, because that is something that's really popular.
Her,
and
of course, like
I'm still definitely pursuing acting in the TV world, in theater as well, and in film for sure. But the industry's kind of up and down, and it's kind of down right now. So
everybody's going to be in the I want to be in the Donald Trump story.
it's the
never-ending movie.
It feels like a recession right now from the strike, and for all actors, crew, stage managers, you know, editors, like there's not a lot of jobs to be had right now. So
you got to make your own.
It's even more important that we're making our own and that we're keeping our soul like pumped for doing what we love.
Oh, that's awesome. Would you have any parting notes for our viewers about being indie filmmakers?
I got one for them.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to, because we were talking earlier about the power of a name of an actor. I think if there's somebody out there like a Sara Tomko, for example, that you see on TV that you think, wow, they're amazing. The industry is kind of on a tilt down right now. It won't be forever. It's like wine; it's always going to be good. But I think that you should reach out to the people, the actors that you love. Reach out to their people and see if they're available. Because I was sitting here. We were working on something. I was sending something out, and Sara said, "Man, I wish somebody had a script like this would reach out to me." And I thought, wow, and that's what gave us the idea to
reach out to Felicia.
That's awesome.
I think if you're writing something and you
never know, just send an email to their people. The worst thing that happens is you don't hear back or they say no. But
that's how I find my guests.
Yeah, like you just it's worth it, especially now. Yeah. People just want to work. They just want to work on good stories. And if you've got a good story, like you should be putting it out there.
Yeah, it's not as difficult, I think, as you think it is. And you never know. I mean, you miss 1,000% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality you gotta have, I think, when you go into it.
I think also I just also directed a short film that I wrote 10 years ago. It was like sort of 2 weeks after we shot his short film. And it was meant to just be something I was doing experimentally. But TJ said, if you're going to do it full out. And my best friend Abby was like, if you want to do this, like get a PA, get the sound, like do the thing. And I think I was feeling a little shy about it. But I think my advice would be surround yourself with people who love you and support you the way that my husband and my best friends do. But also just make your film. Like just put it on a credit card. Like you'll pay it off later, but like make your film. You won't be sorry, and you'll learn so much just by making it.
And make it for you.
Just make it for you.
Just for you.
Yeah. And then if you submit it to festivals and it does well, good for you. But it's just make it for you.
I love this. You guys are totally awesome. This has been Sara Tomko and TJ Pederson, the lovely married couple from In the Pocket Productions there. Guys, this is the end of the show for the week, but next week, we'll have a lovely theater company from Hague. I'm going to be talking to everybody. Another independent group of people that I tap into. This has been the Antisocial Hour-ish show, and we hope to see you next time.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Bye.